Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. I want to talk to you tonight about something very personal. I want to explain to you why I am so pro-life and have been for the last 35 years. People, my story is like so many others. But I must say the events that I'm going to describe are the truth and nothing but the truth. And maybe you can understand why I am so pro-life. Of course, I was raised by Christian parents, and life was sacred from the very beginning. I never heard about abortion as a kid. I never really knew much about abortion. I'd heard stories of backroom, dingy bar, coat hanger abortions where people died. I'd heard those stories over time. But even as a young adult, I didn't understand what abortion really was. Of course, Roe versus Wade came in, and then it got really, in the news, and then everybody sort of knew what it was. But pardon me, I just wasn't aware, people. I was doing other things, had other stuff going on. I just wasn't aware. But I'm going to tell you, I got married in 1982. And in 1983, I found out that my wife was pregnant. Well, I was excited and hopeful that finally I was going to be a dad. I was like 31 years old. I was glad to be knowing I was going to be a daddy. Well, my excitement didn't last very long. After a short period of time, my wife admitted that she'd had an affair with a bouncer in a strip club, people, if you can believe that. Man, I was working my butt off every day to make ends meet, and she's out here messing around in strip bars. Anyway, shows you what a fool I am, and a bigger fool than I am, because I stayed with her till these kids were grown and out of school. But let me get with you on that. Like I say, she admitted to having an affair, and she wanted to have an abortion. Well, I begged her, please don't have an abortion, because there was a chance that child was mine. And I was willing to raise that child. I was willing to be a father to that child. And I would never have brought their paternity into question. Ever. But behind my back, the devil hooked up again with this bouncer from a strip bar, and she convinced him to pay for her abortion, and she had an abortion without my knowledge. Believe me, when I found out, people, I wasn't real happy about it. I was willing to raise this child, if it wasn't mine. My dad and mom raised me right. I never got a choice to say anything into this matter because she had the abortion without my knowledge. And the bouncer paid for it. Done told y'all that. I have never came to reality in my own heart and mind that she might have killed my baby. There's no way she could have known, people, whose child that was. And I didn't care. I would have raised that child. Just like I raised my other two. Well, needless to say, I'm a happy father of two beautiful girls. And I have 3 wonderful grandchildren. But I'll never forget, as long as I live, I'll never forget that poor child that my wife aborted. I'll never forget. I'll never forgive her for that. You know, call me a fool. God knows I've been one many times. But you know, I married this girl, and she was 9 years younger than me, and I was 30. She was, I think, 18 or 19. So it was my own fault, man, you know, for being stupid enough to marry a child. I mean, it's obvious, people. You know, that poor girl had never dated. She'd never had a life. She'd never experienced relationships. And here I was, a grown man. So see where the blame I put on myself comes from? See, as a grown man in my 30s, I married a damn teenager. People, that was 35 years ago. I would never do it again. And I've apologized to her. I have. For marrying her at such a young age and not giving her a chance. But just because she didn't have a chance, you know, to party and hang out and date and carouse around and have fun with her friends, is no reason to kill a baby. So people, now you know my story on why I'm pro-life. I really appreciate you for listening. And I want you to know that I wouldn't be telling you this if I didn't care about you and our children. So do me a favor. Please subscribe. This is Deplorable Bobby. And this is not the way I see it. This is actually the way it is. I love y'all. See you later.